determination, laser focus. Banging on they though they taking notice.
Honey, I dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is a special edition of the Divisional Round Playoff. Ahead, we've got a great one. I'll join you again with some of the stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, this is what I'm talking about. NFL playoffs at Lambeau Field with a snowstorm camped out over the upper Midwest. Let's go. It's time for some great football in Green Bay. Ahead, we'll decide the second entrant to next week's NFC title game as we've got a great one in store between the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The fourth and final ticket to the conference championship round. We'll know soon enough as we are underway here on a January afternoon. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Russell Wilson bringing out the Seattle Seahawks. And just another tremendous year for Wilson. Over 4,100 yards passing, second most of his career. 31 touchdown passes to just 5 picks. And he kept it going in the wild card round. 325 yards in the win at Philly. So while it's probably not an MVP season, does any player mean more to his team than Russell Wilson to the Seahawks?
It'd be hard to argue that any player does. But if there's one, it's probably Lamar Jackson with Baltimore because they can play that style with him. Would a conventional quarterback be able to get as much out of that offense as Lamar Jackson? Probably not. But all in all, Russell Wilson, he is the Seahawks now, especially being able to carry a team that lost its top 2 runners on a team that likes to run the ball first going into the playoffs. Yeah, they brought back Marshawn Lynch, but it's still Russell Wilson's team. And how about that big throw late to seal things to DK Metcalf? No shortage of fortitude with Russell Wilson.
A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on first. We'll take a look at the starters here defensively for the Packers. Well, they were very strong in that victory from a week ago. And last week in that victory, they were pretty good. Probably a pretty easy film session, I would imagine.
And after a performance like that, so many people think you just roll into film, take your popcorn, kick back, and enjoy the show because they played well. I can just tell you from experience, after a win is when coaches come down on you harder because they want to emphasize all the mistakes that happened because you won. You're in a good mood. They want to bring you back to earth. Oftentimes you walk out of there and you ask your teammate, did we win last week?
So my assumption was wrong. I learned something. How about 25 yards on third down? They'll take it.
Brandon, there have been some memorable snow games for championships in the NFL. 1948, Philadelphia Eagles, Chicago Cardinals.
The most famous one in my lifetime, I think, is got to be 01, right? Raiders, Patriots, to send the Patriots to the Super Bowl.
You got to go to the Tucker Roll, didn't you? Yeah, I think that's one people remember. But I also know this. In Miami, the infamous one, the snowplow game. In New England, when they went out there and the Patriots had a guy come out and clear a spot on the field for their field goal kicker to kick the game winner.
Is that 82?
That was 82. And the Dolphins fans will never forget it.
Well, we're not seeing one of those famous games here, but it's fun to be in the snow nonetheless. Well, how about the passing numbers so far on this first drive?
Oh, no doubt about it. They're flinging it around pretty successfully. And look at the start. The confidence level that we see in him rising because he's hit a few early. And how about the last one? The big shot right there.
That's good for a gain of 6. Second and goal. From the 2 now. Second and goal. Again, Wilson. And this is going to be intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Oh, Charles, after that interception in the Super Bowl from the 1-yard line, I thought Pete Carroll would run it inside the 5 every time.
Sometimes I wonder if maybe Pete did want to run it inside the 5. But Russell Wilson, you know he's such a competitor. And he doesn't want that interception to stand, that maybe he wanted to be in that spot to hold it a second. I can throw a touchdown pass. Instead, he's victimized again.
A very solid gain of 27.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
Now a play fake here on first down. He'll buy some time right. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. So a pretty shaky start here for both sides.
Yeah, each quarterback's throwing the ball to the other team. Do you think on both sidelines they're sitting them down and saying, okay, remember, this is the color jersey we're wearing. They're wearing the other color. Let's make sure we get it to our guys, please.
They'll run with Marshawn Lynch. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 2 catches now in this divisional round matchup. That one, a first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Here's Wilson to throw. That's caught by Hollister. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. First down, Seattle, 16 yards, the gain there.
And the Seahawks, first down.
Seahawk football here to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. No score after 1 on EA Sports. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Now Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. 2 catches now in this divisional round matchup. That one a first down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions.
And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Touchdown run. As up front, really just a solid job.
6 points.
Touchdown. Extra point through the snowflakes, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Charles, this Green Bay team, they're going to get the football back here, but as they do that, it's maybe the quietest 13-3 season in recent memory. The losses to the Eagles, Chargers, and 49ers, and that's it. They will get a tough challenge against Seattle in the wild card game. What do they need to do if they're going to get Aaron Rodgers his second shot at a Super Bowl?
Continue to do a lot of what they did during the season. You're right. It was a quiet, almost unsettling 13-3 because most of the teams that they beat walked away thinking, we can beat that Packers team. And Aaron Rodgers himself said, hey, if you want to call it ugly, that's fine. I'll take 13-3 ugly. But all year long, they actually rode the running game. Aaron Jones, and now they're going to give him more carries in the playoffs. They want to make sure he got to the end of the regular season. He'll get more carries, more catches, and you saw that big game he had catching ball against Kansas City during the season. The defense with the Smith brothers, Zadarius and Preston, they get after the quarterback. If they can prevent people from running the football against them and keep those 5 and 6 DBs.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Bobby Wagner charging hard from that linebacker spot, and he drops him for a loss of 11. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
A nice job of just sticking the helmet down 9 yards on the play, but still 3rd and 12 now.
Watch the run.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And he will take this all the way up past the 40-yard line. Well, with that incompletion, Charles, let's talk about the coaching carousel. Some new guys in new places. Ron Rivera to Washington. We got Mike McCarthy in Dallas. Matt Rule up from the college ranks to Carolina. And for the Giants, Joe Judge. Any surprises in your mind?
Well, I think you start with Joe Judge going to the Giants, coming from New England, where he was the special teams coach for most of his career, and this season added wide receivers to his duties. Well regarded within the ranks of the NFL.
And now look at him go. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Marshawn Lynch with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Seahawks get the quick strike touchdown. They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was. And if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big playability in your hip pocket, doesn't it?
The extra point now coming from Myers. And it's good to make it 14-0. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go.
And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 20, and he'll bring it back to the 9-yard line. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner forgets starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make your cash.
Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on Divisional Round Weekend. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful end zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Jacob Hollister there to make the grab. Yeah, the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Here's Aaron Jones in the offense trotting back out. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we can draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Rodgers, and Graham's got it. Complete.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're a lot of yardage after the catch. Team going.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Throwing is Roger. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Brad McDougal. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. Really nice pick there for the reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And a good story on that. He said he didn't even know he won the award. His buddy had to call him. He saw it on television and said, hey, congratulations. How about that?
And I'll bet you his buddy said, well, since you didn't know, I'll just go ahead and claim the award, right? And everything that goes along with it. But the reason he won the award the previous week and what we just saw there, instincts, understanding where the play is going and being able to make a play on the football.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Wilson. He'll find Metcalf. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Wilson. They dump it off to Lynch. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Throwing again here, Wilson. He's going to get this out to Marshawn Lynch. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. Right hash mark, a 42-yard attempt. Myers' kick is good. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
But first, let's take a look back to Saturday's NFC Divisional Round game. And it was the Minnesota Vikings who will continue on in these playoffs as they were able to eliminate the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, in our game, we're set up for a terrific second half. So to find out who will advance to the NFC title game, let's send it back out to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. A trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Now this offense ready to head back out there. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. Give him 10 there, good enough for a Packer first down. Now a first down carry by Jones. The tackle made by K.J. Wright.
Brings up second and 9. Hey, watch out. Check out 54. Mike 54. You ain't going nowhere.
On second down now. It's Jones, and it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Here we go on 4th down with Rodgers. And that's complete to Adams. And unable to break away, they stop him a few yards shy. A surprising move to go for it, and predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
He's got the first down here inside the 30. 23 yards on the play. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up second and 5.
They'll keep pounding here with Lynch. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll run it. Here's Lynch. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now. They'll run with Lynch, and he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Marshawn Lynch saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game as his guys continue to pour it on. And he keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now, no question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Muhammad Wilkerson sacks him that time, coming in off the edge.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout, and we will. We've got an injured Packer on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. Here's J.K. Scott now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. And he'll send this one into the cold Lambeau night. Returnable for Lockett. 12 yards on the return that time. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
They'll start on the ground with Lynch. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
To the right side and complete to Metcalf. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
It's a gain of 1. And it's 3rd down.
Hey, we've got time left. Watch tight end. Watch tight end.
1 quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
What? 42, check. Mike 42. I'm going to run you over. I'm going to run you over.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he's got his target. That's more. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no time to find someone open downfield, you can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 20-yard line. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. And the incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead. but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another first down. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. Here's second and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. To throw is Wilson. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Jacob Hollister, a beast in the red zone with his second touchdown of the game, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game, and privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. They run with a fullback now. This is Dan Vitale, and he's able to get up here to the 26. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Now, how about that call handed to the big guy in that situation? Normally you think of him as a real short yardage runner, but in this case they trust him to get a few more yards than that. I remember an old New York Giants quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, telling me he loves offense coordinators who call the plays with a little bit of abandon.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Williams, and he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
And he'll only get this to about the 44 as they stop him short of the line to gain. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. The offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. Give credit to K.J. Wright. He was disrupting defensively. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a third situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
And looking at it from the perspective of the losing side here in this divisional round, it all ends so abruptly, doesn't it? A few hours ago, you got all this hope and anticipation of maybe a deep run, and now you're out of it.
Well, let's applaud the team that won, and rightly so. They're moving on. They still have a chance to get to the big game. But let's not bury the team that lost. I think I do a lousy job of illuminating what a great year they had. Let's face it, when it's all said and done, they were one of 8 teams left with a chance to get to and win the Super Bowl. That's a pretty darn good season.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. From Lambeau, good night, everybody.